Some big news out of the Senate yesterday with the Parliamentarian, essentially saying, hey, the Senate can use this tool known as reconciliation in order to move legislation through when it comes to the infrastructure bill, right?
Yeah, so this is really wonky, so I'll try to keep it simple, but it is a little confusing. Elizabeth MacDonough is the Senate parliamentarian. She's essentially like the referee, so to speak, of the Senate in terms of all the rules. So Majority Leader Schumer said that he feels that they could go and have another budget this calendar year beyond just the two that they had originally passed. And she agreed with him. So this was in many ways a win for Democrats who had wanted to pass another type of spending bill accustomed and likened to the $2.25 trillion infrastructure proposal that they have put forth. But, and this is a huge deal, in order to pass this, they have to offset it with a way to pay for it. And so that means tax increases. So while it is a procedural victory for Democrats like Majority Leader Schumer, not all the Democrats are on board for raising taxes. People like Senator Joe Manchin are raising concerns about raising taxes. And so as a result of that, it's a step in the right direction for the Democrats, but it's by no means the end of the debate.
So how does it change the agenda that President Biden has and what he is foreseeably able to do? I mean, this comes in the context of not one single Republican voting for that $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
You know, I think it's a great point. And how does it change it? I would argue that it takes a little bit of the pressure off President Biden to get rid of the filibuster rule, because this is a step in the right direction in terms of the procedural hurdles that he faces in the Senate. But he's going to have to keep his caucus together. He kept his caucus together for the last round of stimulus, but on infrastructure spending and on raising taxes, it's a much difficult road ahead. I did speak to Jared Bernstein, a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors yesterday, and what he told me was that they're open to, I mean, he didn't say it like this, but what I got from our interview is that they're open to a more piecemeal approach, but he's going to leave it to the Leg Affairs people to negotiate that. But look, I do think that either way, it might not be $2.25 trillion, but Republicans are willing to spend even upwards of like $1 trillion on infrastructure, on roads and bridges, which is still where I come from, Tim, a good hefty hunk of change.
Yeah, it is. But, I think, where all of us come from, those roads, bridges, broadband infrastructure, and other types of infrastructure certainly can use a little bit of improvement. Hey, Kevin, help explain this parliamentarian ruling, because I think there's a lot of confusion around it. As you said, it is wonky. Is it a double-edged sword for Democrats in the sense of if they lose the Senate in the next round in 2022, yes, does that then mean that Senate Republicans can get more done without having the agreement of Democrats?
Yes, but it's not. It does say yes, but it doesn't go as far as throwing out the filibuster rule. So I think it's a more moderate ruling, and it takes some pressure off of the filibuster rule, which you and I had talked about before, Tim, and you know this, that should any political party get rid of that filibuster, whenever there's a changing of the guard of political parties in Washington, that it would just spell potential headaches for the then minority party. It makes it easier to have a conversation about spending, but it by no means is a rubber stamp on the $2.25 trillion infrastructure proposal.
Bloomberg Chief Washington Correspondent Kevin Cirilli. Kevin, always good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Yep.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.